The administration has money to send to Lebanon without Congress coming back. But Congress does have to come back to approve money to send to people in North Carolina. Do I have that right?
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the White House Press Secretary Karine Pierre having the full meltdown after she was pressed by Peter Doocy of Fox News about the funding for Lebanon that we can give them without Congress being in session. When you're talking about funding for American citizens affected by the hurricane all over the USA, all of a sudden we got to bring Congress back and we got to do this procedure and that procedure. It's weird how that works, isn't it? You could just bend the rules when you want to bend them, but when you don't, you don't. Now, some are going to say, well, look, it's not about bending the rules. It's about this, it's about that. And the third, look, I really don't care. And I think those on the ground don't care either. Look, if we're sending billions to foreign countries, you got Lebanon, that whole thing going on. You got Ukraine still, Taiwan still, all these places, they get money, but American citizens got to go through a bunch of rigmarole to get $700. And then when we do go through the rigmarole to get the $700, after a house has been destroyed, it's a problem with that. People are getting denied. The people don't like it. People can say that FEMA are on the ground in North Carolina, for example, but the people who are stuck in the holler in the mountain for the past 10 days or so don't feel their presence there. But they do see the money going overseas with no problem. So there's an issue. Now, before I go any further, let's get to the actual clip here. I'm going to play Karine Pierre talking about what's happening. Then I'm going to play some footage from the ground in Western North Carolina so you can hear it straight from the people themselves rather than myself or politicians. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
On this issue of funding, the administration has money to send to Lebanon without Congress coming back. But Congress does have to come back to approve money to send to people in North Carolina. Do I have that right?
Now, before she gives an answer to the question, why is she dressed like this? This is distracting. Okay, it's not superficial. I want a serious person up there, especially during a time of emergency like right now. Give me a serious person, not this lady dressed like Fred Sanford from Sanford and Son wearing a zoot suit. I don't want to see that, but let's let her continue and finish.
Here's what I'm going to be very clear about. The president and the vice president has had a robust whole of government response to this. Hundreds of millions of dollars. I said it at the top, more than $200 million that we have directly put towards survivors here.
Now, the question is, how is this money being used now? Because the pressing issue now, search, rescue, rebuilding roads, clearing out pathways, just being able to save lives. That's the mission right now. So if that money is being used for that, then hey, great. But people on the ground aren't really feeling like it's being used that way.
For disaster help. And that's because of this president's commitment to make sure that we are there for communities that are impacted. We take this very seriously again. We take this very seriously. And before the hurricane hit, we pre-positioned more than 1,500 federal folks on the ground to help. And so we have made sure that every state has gotten their storm requested emergency declaration. They requested it, and we made sure they received it. We've taken this very seriously. More than $200 million that we have provided to the impacted areas. But instead, people want to do disinformation, misinformation, which is dangerous. Because then when folks on the ground hear that, they may not want to ask for the help that they need. That is there for them.
Now, the thing is, people are asking for the help. People are asking for it. The $750 that Kamala Harris has been promoting on television, people have been asking for that. People have been applying for it, and they are getting denied automatically by a computer algorithm. Like, it'd be a lady calling from a gas station after her whole house and everything was destroyed by the floodwater in Asheville. She'd be on the phone at the gas station saying, hey, I lost my house. Can I get $700? Nah, the computer said you're denied. That is what people are talking about right there. So when you said you gave $200 million to the effort, when people are being denied $700, they don't feel it.
I just mentioned to you that we provided more than $200 million to folks who are impacted in the area. And I just shared with you that people are deciding not to, people are deciding not to,
wait. To Congress that there's not enough money to help people in
We're
North
talking
Carolina
about the SBA disaster loan.
That's
Yes.
money for people in North Carolina.
And that's important, and people in North Carolina need that. Wait, this is nothing new. Peter, this is nothing new. Congress comes together, they provide money, millions of dollars, for disaster relief. We're asking them to do the job that they have been doing for some time.
From a letter that President Biden sent to Johnson, McConnell, Schumer, and Jeffries. The president's letter is not misinformation. Would you agree?
No, the way you're asking me the question is misinformation. There is money.
There you go. You the one talking about where you asking the question. Y'all always do that whole thing, asking questions a certain way, saying statements a certain way to act like you're not lying, but you're really being very deceptive. Let me let her finish, and then we're going to get to some more.
That we are allocating to the impacted areas, and there's money there to help people who truly need it. There are survivors who need the funding, and it's there.
That you don't like misinformation.
I said that. I actually said we have the money available to help survivors of Hurricane Helene and also Hurricane Milton. Now, there's going to be a shortfall, right? Because we don't know how bad Hurricane Milton is going to be.
It's never a shortfall for Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, anybody like that. It's never a shortfall for them. It's never a shortfall for the migrants getting these cards that have $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 on it. Why can't we get one of those cards? You're going to make us have to apply for $700 and then deny us automatically because of an algorithm. But the migrants come here to get these cards automatically, and it's no problem with plenty of money on it. Why can't we get that?
And so
give the migrants $700 and give us to $10,000 to $15,000 or whatever they get.
We're going to need additional funding. That's
exactly what I just asked about. And you said it was misinformation. Yes.
What you're asking me is why Congress needs to come back and do their job. That's what you're asking me. Congress needs to come back and do their job and provide extra assistance, extra funding to.
But again, we didn't need Congress to give money to Lebanon. That's the key here.
Disaster relief fund.
And she didn't deny that.
That's what Congress needs to do, and we're going to continue to urge that. You may not want that, but that's okay. That's what this president wants, and that's what the vice president wants. Thanks, everybody.
All right, so there we go. Walking off in the zoot suit. She's done. Now let's go straight to the ground. We have North Carolina Highway Patrol saying the only reason why they're able to contact their convoys is because of Starlink from Elon Musk, not from the federal government, of course.
What I'm trying to do is get the Starlink in there, just because I want to make a point that they're literally the only reason that we can connect with our convoy is because we've got a Starlink sitting in the window.
There you have it. Now let's keep on going here. This is Sheriff Wright and Sheriff Ellenberg in North Carolina, and they're going to give their opinion about the FEMA response. Again, these are people on the ground. Officials on the ground. Let's see what they say.
I was going to say something about Biden and Harris.
Yes, what were you going to say? Oh.
But I don't like to curse. I'm scared there'll be little ears listening.
Well, and you've been up here. You've been up here for how long?
Just 2 days.
2 days?
Sheriff hadn't left, and he's doing a fantastic job. So.
That's right. I mean, Sheriff, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for all you do. I'm going to definitely get this up on social media, and we're going live tonight with Sean Hannity. But if you had a message for the White House and how they've handled the situation up here in North Carolina, what would your message be, Sheriff Wright?
If you're going to do the things you've been talking about doing, we just assume you stay out of the way and let the good men and women around the mountain area and the foothills take care of our own, because you're nothing more than a boat anchor.
No help. FEMA hasn't been helpful.
Wait a minute. That lady that's running for president talks about the $750. What about all that money you give to Ukraine and all these other people that really want to kill us, don't want to do anything to help us? Why don't you just give that money to them? That's who you want to give it to begin with.
And a lot of people have been turned down for the $750. Almost everybody I've spoken to hasn't received any of the funding, and they've been turned down for personal items.
Well, they talked about get on your phone or your computer. Do you not see what the devastation is? They don't have a phone or a computer.
There's nothing up here. There's no communication. I'm going to be posting this later. There's no way to access the internet unless you have a Starlink net.
Now let's pause. Now, if FEMA is up there doing the removal of debris and whatnot, you see a lot of the heavy equipment in the background. If they're doing that out there, then good on them. That can be where the money is going. But if the money, the $200 million, is for the $700 payment to people, if that's what it's for, that is nothing. That's not going to help this scene of utter devastation.
And everybody's...
Thank you, Elon Musk, by the way.
Oh, yes, thank you,
come
Elon
send
Musk.
President Donald Trump, we need you.
What are the... Yes, that's a message for you, President Trump. And I was going to ask you, what are the most affected areas that you've seen? Is this pretty much ground zero from what you've seen, or can you...
Well, I think that'd be better for the sheriff here to answer for sure, because he knows this county a lot better than I do.
Here in Rutherford County, what are the most affected areas?
Almost certainly. Lake Lure and Chimney Rock is the most affected areas. We've had...
I mean, we're here in Chimney Rock, and
Well,
I know
what
they've
was
been cleaning.
Chimney Rock?
What was Chimney Rock?
Yeah.
What was
But lower in
Chimney?
the county, we've had a lot of damage, but nothing to this magnitude here.
This has just been devastating, and the people. For all of you out there, whatever you can do, whether it's Samaritan's Purse, whether you live in the area, yeah,
Samaritan's Purse, 'cause they
yeah,
don't-
Samaritan's
they don't
Purse
take
is.
no cut off of it. All these other people, they do useless stuff on the blog.
So Samaritan's Purse, that's it. Samaritan's Purse. Come out here if they need. I heard you need more hands, more help, more manpower in some areas. So if you're living out in the area and you have special skills and you can help.
Let me tag onto that.
Okay.
Don't just show up saying I want to help. You get in touch with somebody and get some. They'll give you a code. They'll give you a person to be in contact with, because we know you want to help. But we have to vet you, because there's stuff laying around here that people's worked all their life for. I can't just let a stranger. We can't let a stranger come in here and just walk up and down.
They don't want looters. They
No,
don't
we're
want
not going to have
looters.
looters. If you come over here and loot,
Don't do that.
just like in
Don't do that. Don't loot up there in the mountains. Oh my goodness. Do not do that. Them rednecks out there, them boys out there will delete you immediately. Don't do that.
Spartanburg, you're not going to like us at all.
Don't.
And look, the mountain people, Appalachian, the nicest people you ever meet in your life. The nicest people you will ever meet. My man right here, the sheriff, probably the nicest guy in the world. Probably got grandkids, he the biggest teddy bear. But you want to do something crazy, then that's when it goes. That's when it can be a big shift. Appalachian people were either very, very nice to you or something else. But we're not going to be something else if you're not something else first. So shout out to them out there. Again, I want to thank all of y'all for helping what's happening here in Appalachia, because we really need it. My area, I'm good. I'm not really affected, but not too far from me, hour and a half that way, is different. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on what's happening here with the federal response, or the lack thereof, and the monies that can magically go to Lebanon? No problem. No questions asked. No political game plan. It just gets sent. Boom. Migrants, no problem. No political games. Money gets sent. Boom. But then when it comes to American citizens that need help in America after a natural disaster like a hurricane, I don't know, man. You gotta get on the phone. You gotta make a few things happen. People are tired of the games. They're tired of being gaslit. They're tired of being told, yes, we're helping you, but they don't see the actual help. They don't see it, but they do see it for others from our money, and we don't like it. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.